So for fun, we are going to determine whether or not the original 7 Justice League members can scale in comparison against the 7 legends from Brawlhalla of my choosing, who I think could stand up to them and actually defeat the Justice League. What? So if your jaw is dropping right now, stay tuned. And after thorough research, for certain, I definitely see the Brawlhalla legends having potential to take out the Justice League. We are gonna start with the OG 7 members and over time work our way up to the Brawlhalla ones. So they are Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Superman, The Flash, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. Don't worry for those of you who don't know the full extent to each of their abilities because your only knowledge of them isn't expanded to the comics. I'll be explaining in depth later. But for now, let's select and list out the 50 plus legends from Brawlhalla in our arsenal. So we got
Petra, Thea, Mako, Fate, Rayman, Artemis, Ragnar.
So 7v7 team match to the death. What team wins? Well, let's start with the Martian Manhunter, which he can do pretty much everything. Fly, super strength, shapeshift, telepathy, phasing, and of course, Martian vision. But he has an inherent weakness of fire, and that's where Ragnar comes into play. Assuming the other members of the league don't interrupt Ragnar, he could kill Martian Manhunter easily, making it a 6v7 real quick. Don't forget, Ragnar is an apex predator and in his natural form is 90 feet long. Since we have fortune teller like Fate on their side, who can deduce a human's fate from the smallest of visions, he could allow Ragnar to foresee the future and allow him to kill MM if he tries to hide or get the upper hand on him during the battle with a sneak attack. Wonder Woman is known to have the strength of the Earth itself, granted by Demeter, so she's got super strength on a planetary scale and we haven't even gotten to Superman yet. So obviously she could one-shot Ragnar, so we're not even gonna go there. But we are gonna have to put her up against a powerhouse like Artemis. In lore, her full power and hidden potential isn't yet discovered. She opened a wormhole intending to strive into Valhalla, but instead had to rip the core from a nearby star to forge her armor, extinguishing her first solar system without even trying. And Wonder Woman can also fly too, but I mean, Artemis from Brawlhalla absolutely slaps here. This next one is going to be a bit more challenging, I feel, but Aquaman can weather control, cause earthquakes on land or sea, does not have super strength measurable to that of Wonder Woman, but can at least breathe underwater and obviously is more stronger there in his home turf, which is important because apparently following the comics, Aquaman in water is faster and stronger than Superman. So what Brawlhalla legend could stand up to someone who has potential to be stronger than Superman? Mako. A water fighter versus a water fighter. I'm not even gonna lie, I have no idea who wins this fight. It's probably a lot closer than most of you think, and I do believe this because Mako's lore states that she bit off Zeus's foot. I don't think Aquaman could do something to that extent. Mako is Poseidon's daughter, so at the same time you can't underestimate her. So maybe I will let someone decide in the comments on this one, but I'm gonna go Mako. Next up is Green Lantern. His powers are pretty much always shown to just be creative mode, but he can also translate languages, become invisible and hypnotize people. Since we still have Fate in battle, she'll be a perfect opponent for the Green Lantern, since she'll be able to forge a battle mage of her powers. Who wins? Probably Lantern for this one. However, I'd like to say that Fortune Teller Psychic would be able to beat him, who, by the way, can see months into the future, if not years. I was actually deciding whether or not Caspian would be a better pick to take on Lantern because he is a master thief and he could just steal Green Lantern's ring, but he would probably still get beaten afterwards anyway. Now we have the Flash. Oh boy, looks like the Brawlhalla legends are finally gonna take an L. So we all know, or at least should know, that the Flash can run faster than time itself and has the ability to think faster to process information quicker, as well as obviously being faster than Superman. So that's why I picked another speedster to go against him to, I don't know, buy time for the other legends on the team, because let's face it, Thea is fast, but not that fast. The Flash is literally too OP. Sorry Thea, at least you're still faster than Thor. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, Superman. His 9 vulnerability is one of his greatest strengths. He can survive a nuclear explosion with ease and has the ability to sneeze away an entire solar system. Super strength is like Diana's strength, but multiplied by at least 1,000,000. Can tank a hit from Darkseid's laser eyes. Then there is the obvious flying and X-ray vision, being able to look at someone and tell their identity. So what Brawlhalla legend could stand up to this? Well, I have a trump card up my sleeve. Someone I've been saving for last minute and had to do some more research on. The most powerful legend in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Rayman! Yeah!
So I had to do some research on this guy since I never was interested enough to play his games as a kid. And people in comments of my videos have been talking about him, so I was shocked in what I discovered, to say the least. Rayman is universal level minimum, and let me explain why. And in my opinion, he could also definitely stop Superman in his tracks. There are 4 types of lums: red, yellow, purple, and blue. Think of it like this: they're essentially the building blocks of the universe, because everything has been made of energy. Yellow ones give the user knowledge, and if you have the maximum of 1,000, you have the knowledge of the entire universe. Without the purple ones, nothing would be solid or visible, yet Rayman can grab them with his fists, which means Rayman can collect pieces of the universe. Blue ones are the ones for life, you keep them until you die, and red ones expand your lifespan. This is all important because Rayman defeated a villain called Polycus, who was initially created by the Lums, and his powers are reality manipulation. His smallest dream becomes reality. This is beyond god level stuff we are talking about here. It should also be noted that Rayman was born in a primordial forest. So since Superman gets absolutely demolished by Rayman since he is universal level, let's move on to Batman. Assuming Rayman or literally any of the other legends I mentioned are still alive after taking care of the time-traveling speedster the Flash, which in my opinion at least one would definitely be able to, I'd say that Batman is so dead, so screwed, no chance, because we still have one legend left. We have
Petra!
She hasn't been present in the fight this entire time, so I thought I'd throw her at Batman for unnecessary overkill, to get my point across that Brawlhalla legends could flatline the Justice League. But for those of you who are wondering how strong Petra is, she was born in a dimension called Terminus, morphed by a group of gods, one of them being Odin, the king of Asgard and the ruler of the 9 realms, and her power either comes from or is related to in some way by a substance called Darkheart. All we know for sure power-wise is that she could whoop Thor's ass, hands down. But Batman is finished. So just in case it wasn't clear, I do believe that it would ultimately come down to the Flash going back in time versus Fate always being able to tell the outcome of the battle with her psychic powers. But then Barry Allen would just keep on creating alternate timelines, so it's up for debate which team would overall come on top, especially since I've tried to be fair and use the comic iterations of the heroes, which is the strongest iterations of the Justice League. But I personally believe once again Brawlhalla beats the Justice League. The conclusion is that this was all mostly speculation and as accurate and fair as possible, and for fun of course. But this was only 7 legends versus 7 Justice League members, so we can make a part 2 throwing in the likes of Shazam, Raven, and the rest of the Titans, John Constantine, and many more. So leave a comment down below on your thoughts about this and if you'd be excited for a part 2 where I expand, because there are enough Justice League members to go around as well as Brawlhalla legends to compare. But for now, Brawlhalla 1 Justice League, 0. Hi, my name is Craig, and thanks for tuning in to Craig's Cartoons. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and check out some other videos on your screen. And until then, I'll catch you in the next one.